That is the voice of J.D. Sharp. I am Brian Shapiro. Welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. And we were talking a little bit about, of course, the World Series last night. Mattress Mac, we appreciate him joining us, losing out on basically a $24 million swing. It's just unbelievable. He was in pretty good spirits considering. That's a man that's going to live to 120. When you lose $24 million and you're in as good a spirits as he is in, nothing can faze you. That's all I'm going to say.
Or you have a net worth of $1 billion, and this
that helps.
And this is 0.02% of your net worth.
Well, that also helps as well. I was angry losing $100 last night. I bet the under on the game, which was 7.5. But let's talk a little World Series. Obviously, this was a fantastic series. If you told me that it would have gone 7, I wouldn't have been surprised. But the fact that the road team seemed to do so well was a little strange yesterday. All right, let me start with this. So the Houston Astros get off to an early lead, right? They're up 2-0. They seem to be in control, but Scherzer is such a competitor. He never lost his cool. It never appeared that he was in trouble. He seemed to get better as the game went on.
He also seemed to get louder as he was throwing the pitches.
Yeah.
You could hear him just screaming every time he threw a pitch.
And he did a great job in keeping his team close. And the other side of things, Greinke pitched a very good game. And I thought it was mismanaged to an extent. You don't think Greinke pitched well?
Brian, Greinke pitched one of the best games you will ever see. He had one mistake to Anthony Rendon. It ended up being a home run, and then he walked the guy.
Why did he get pulled so early?
Because A.J. Hinch likes to ride the hot hand. And whenever something goes even remotely wrong, he freaks out and he switches pitchers immediately. The problem is he switched to the wrong pitcher.
Why did Cole not get in there?
Here, it's possible that the Garrett Cole situation is odd because after the game, he's wearing a Scott Boras hat. He says, "I'm no longer a member of the Houston Astros organization." He was angry because he's never won a championship before. He was angry that he didn't get a pitch in that game. But I think he was on 2 days rest.
He said that after the game?
He did, yeah. Yeah, he announced that, or he had an interview, and that he stated that specifically. And wow. I didn't ask Mattress Mac about that because I'm sure Mac's very, very unhappy about it. But yeah, Cole I didn't know he said that. Wearing a Scott Boras hat said, "I am no longer a member of the Houston Astros organization. I'm no longer an employee of the organization," because he's a free agent. He's going to get paid massive.
Yeah. Do you think that's part of the reason that they didn't put him in there?
I honestly don't think that's part of the reason why they didn't put him in there, because had Garrett Cole pitched a couple of innings, and I honestly – I watched Cole. He was going to get hit. The thing about the Nationals is they're really good at high fastballs. This is kind of a baseball technicality. But Cole, what makes Cole so good is he has this fastball. It's about 99 miles an hour, but it rises up in the strike zone. And there's about 3 guys in the Nationals that hit that really, really well. The Yankees had no chance against that particular pitch, but the Nationals did. So I think that he thought that the Nationals were better fastball pitchers than curveball pitchers, and Will Harris went in there and threw a meatball, and then Ryan Presley got rocked. And, I mean, it should have been Greinke, Cole, Osuna, or a variation of the 3. But the truth is, Greinke should have never been taken out. He was at 80 pitches. He had 7 balls that were hit directly to him as a pitcher that he fielded cleanly and threw out the runner within 3 to 4 seconds. I mean, Greinke played an unbelievable game. I mean, there's no reason that Greinke, and I made a tweet about this, but Greinke should have pitched the entire game, or at least to the 8th inning, or at least until he had 102 pitches.
Okay, so we agree on that. The game was mismanaged.
Absolutely.
And I'll also, to get to the actual players last night, I thought in this series, or particularly the last couple games, I thought Altuve, who is your star, who is so good at getting his bat on the ball in every situation. I thought he had a couple key strikeouts in the last couple games that really cost his team, particularly a situation where there were runners at second and third with 1 out, and not only did he not even get a runner in, but he struck out.
And you're talking this in Game 6.
I'm talking Game 6. I think that changed the complexion of that game. And then yesterday he had some key at-bats as well where he didn't perform to his capability. He is one of the best hitters in all of Major League Baseball. I thought he was a bit disappointing, especially in the latter games in this series. Bregman is a beast. We all know how great of a hitter he is. But again, he did not do what he needed to do in these last few games.
I'll tell you what, Bregman actually had 3 home runs and 8 RBIs, and he would have been the MVP had they won.
But yesterday,
but what about the first hit of the game, which when Trey Turner hit that screamer and Bregman stopped the triple from happening?
It was incredible.
That was a great play.
That was incredible. But I'm talking on the offensive. I'm talking offensively.
I mean, I can't give Bregman no credit offensively. Again, he had 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. I mean, that's unbelievable.
Do you think that the Washington Nationals are the better baseball team?
Absolutely.
Why?
They're deeper, and they have better starters. In my opinion, they have better starters. I think the Astros feasted on questionable talent, on questionable competition.
See, but
all
to
year
me,
long.
the real story of this game, and I'm just speaking from a logical perspective, it's the Houston Astros bullpen. They blew the game.
I mean, and I spoke negatively about them a couple days ago.
Yes, and you said that Washington was going to win this game. You also said you liked the over, so you were right on both accounts. But let's be honest here. The Nationals bullpen, we all know Scherzer's a beast, right? But when Scherzer left the game, Washington kept them at 2 runs. The bullpen did their job.
It wasn't the bullpen. What they did was they put Patrick Corbin in the game. Patrick Corbin is arguably, and the Astros are terrible against left-handed pitchers. Patrick Corbin is a left-handed pitcher, but Patrick Corbin is probably the best slider in Major League Baseball, 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
When I say bullpen, what I mean is the relief.
Dave Martinez did a much better job than A.J. Hinch, and that was the difference in this game. When he put in Corbin, and honestly, I made some good money on this because I've had national futures for months and months, but I put a small hedge on the Astros when I think they were plus 600 because I just had to, and I did that because I thought Daniel Hudson was coming in the game, but Patrick Corbin pitched that 8th inning and pitched it well. But the reason that Altuve was unable to hit the ball as effectively as he did the games before is because the Nationals are really good at pitching low, and Altuve. It cannot hit.
Not a good low ball hitter.
He cannot hit low pitches. And Scherzer did that to him consistently, and so did Patrick Corbin. And that's why he was unable.
I thought the scouting report was very good because
outstanding.
They seem to pitch differently to every batter. And that's what you should do. As a professional, you need to know what the hitter's weaknesses are and where you can't put the ball. And I think in a lot of situations, they were throwing first pitch fastballs down the heart of the plate, and some of these Astros hitters were just destroying the baseball. They weren't doing that yesterday. They were very careful in their approach.
They had a lot of they made contact on Scherzer in the 3rd inning at 107 miles an hour average exit velocity, which means they just smashed the ball off him, but it didn't go anywhere. A lot of line outs. There was a couple of, there was a play where there was 2 on. And I think Yordan Alvarez was up to bat. It was the top of the 4th inning, or bottom of the 4th inning, and there was 1 out, and Yordan was about 5 feet away from hitting a home run, dead center. Any other ballpark, it's a home run. So you had situations. It's not that they weren't hitting the ball. It's just that they were hitting the ball directly towards the Nationals batters, or the Nationals fielders, and they fielded the ball very effectively. And I think that Anthony Rendon
He's a beast.
He's
what
just,
a beast.
He's got a huge arm at third base. He just kills the ball.
He's got a pretty big bat, too.
He's got I mean, he's to me, he's the most valuable. He should have been the MVP of the series, in my opinion.
He was fantastic.
Just because of his fielding. And Soto actually caught that long almost home run by Yordan Alvarez, and I thought he was hurt at that point. But Rendon just played unbelievable.
What did you think was the changing of? How should I put this? The changing
the guard.
The guard in this series. Because to me, it was Game 6. When Altuve was at the plate with runners at second and third with 1 out, and he struck out. That, to me, that changed the entire complexion of everything.
You know, that was definitely a big deal. I think that you had Strasburg at that point. Verlander has not been good in the postseason.
Verlander just cannot win.
For a long time. That's
it's Kate Upton's fault.
That's probably, it might be, but that's probably not going to change. I would say that it was when you took Zach Greinke out in Game 7. I think that was the changing of the guard.
You think that was it?
I was watching that game, Brian. I was thinking to myself, when Greinke was in, I was
surprised too.
I was waiting. I mean, the live line on the Nationals was plus 800 in the top of the 6th, and I was just waiting for I was just hoping for one, and they were down 2-0 at this point. I was hoping for 1 run to score, so it could be like minus 250 or minus 300, so I could just make a big hedge, and then 1 run scored, and then they walked somebody, and then Hinch, and this was a question move by Hinch, but Hinch took out Greinke, and at that point, everything changed.
If you feel bad for anybody more than anybody, I would say it's Greinke because he pitched his heart out.
Oh my!
And he comes away with the loss.
He should have a ring.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And they got him for this particular.
But at the same
instance.
time, Scherzer is a beast. He's worked hard his entire career. He's never been in this spot before. You know, in a Game 7, no, not many pitchers will. And I was really happy for him. As I think a lot of people will be disappointed for Greinke. Scherzer is well deserving. He is a beast. He is a competitor.
And so is Strasburg.
I think a lot of pitchers in his spot yesterday, when you're down 2-0, you give up a couple early runs, they don't stay the course. And Scherzer is such a competitor. Every pitch, he said it after the game. He just focused on what he was doing. He knew that 2 runs was 2 runs, that they have enough offense to get it back. And he was, after giving up that second run, he was near perfect. He got out of a couple jams. And by the way, so did the relief. They were in some jams as well. They got the big outs when they needed to get them. I'm talking about runners at first and third, 1 out. Runners at second and third, 2 out. The Houston Astros yesterday left a lot of men on base.
They left also 13 on base.
And also important tonight, both teams, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, had 8 hits or 9 hits. Was
9
it?
hits.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you look at the stats in this game, you say to yourself, well, wait a second, Houston probably should have won this game. But not the case. Washington got the big outs when they needed to. They made the pitches when they needed to, and they got some clutch hits when they needed to, and that's it. But, what do you make of these teams winning on the road? I mean, this whole series. Did you find that a little bit weird?
Every single game was won on the road. That was the first time in Major League Baseball history. And this Nationals team, I mean, let's be honest, they were 19-31 after May, 2 weeks in or 2 months in. Then they almost lose to the Brewers. Then they almost lose to they destroyed the Cardinals or the Dodgers. Then they almost lose to the Dodgers. Then they destroy the Cardinals. And then they're down 3-2 again to the Houston Astros. And they come back and then they win the entire thing. I mean, it's arguably one of the most impressive performances in postseason history. And in my opinion, Steven Strasburg's 5-0 record and Strasburg and Scherzer together, when the Nationals pitched one of those two, they went 9-0 in the postseason.
Well,
That's never happened before.
Congratulations on calling it right yesterday, because you did say this on the air yesterday. You like the over, you like the Nationals. You've been praising the Nationals all year. And I think we got to take a break, but I think we can say this was great for Major League Baseball. It was a very entertaining series to watch. I'm not even a huge baseball guy. I watched every pitch of every game in this series.
MLB picked up some fans this last week.
No question. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, it's our Dirty Dining segment with ABC 13's Darcy Spears. Take a break. Be back right after this.